Hey friends, so I am going to attempt to do a self-care reading today. I'm here at kind of a different location. I tried doing this last week and it did not go the way I had hoped it would go. So I'm going to try it again. Okay, so first up we're going to do chakra cards. This is of course the self-care tarot, so we're going to take it easy and really concentrate on the self in these readings. How do we find ourselves in the cards? If you follow me on Instagram, you can see where I went on a trail run a couple of mornings ago, and I took a tarot card with me because I was like, how does tarot connect with the body? And I took the Wheel of Fortune. And probably around a little after mile 3 on my run, I was running downhill and I just missed this rock that would just blend it into the ground. Well, I saw it, but I just didn't realize how high it was. And before I knew it, bam, just head over heels. And of course, the card that I had taken with me was the Wheel of Fortune, and it was just this idea of what goes up must come down. There's a cycle to life. There's a cycle to how when we move in our bodies and when we move in our soul, and where is the balance in the two. But it's a continuous cycle. So I learned pretty quickly to connect tarot with the body, and yeah, that was interesting. Hopefully, Spirit, I'm just going to ask you, let's not make it such a harsh lesson next time, please. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the chakra cards first to find out where we're going to be concentrating in the body today, just to take it a little easy on ourselves. All right. Spirit, where should we concentrate today on our bodies? That's too many. Where should we concentrate? Give me one card. Thank you. All right. We are focusing on our Sacral Chakra. Svadhisthana. This chakra is located below the navel. It is associated with emotions, pleasure, relationships, and creativity. All right, got it there. All right, so I'll go ahead and put these away. We are focusing on emotions, pleasure, relationships, and creativity. All right. Now I want to do kind of get a theme, so I'm going to use the Wild Unknown archetype. Where are we focusing when we're looking at? It'd be funny if arrows came out anyway to kind of reinforce the theme, but let's see what comes out today. And as you can see, I am shuffling. Kind of get a good shuffle here. Okay, Spirit, can you give us a card on the Sacral Chakra? Something flipped. What was this? The crone. Okay, I like that. I feel like the crone was... No, we had the mother in our last reading. Let's make some noise in here. Sword and so I'm going to read those from the book. It's interesting. It's a little windy here, so I'm trying to be very careful with how I place all the cards. Okay. Alright. So the crone, emotions, pleasure, relationships, and creativity. Somehow I feel this is about how we mature in the sacral area, like how we mature, how we advance with our emotions, with our pleasure, with our relationships and creativity. And the sword to me is also, it's almost like this kind of crossing over, some sort of an advantage here. Let's take a look. Let me look at crone first, since crone came out first. Okay. I feel like this is kind of connected to the Hermit card. But let's look. The crone has seen it all. Nothing frightens or surprises her. She is the final manifestation in the feminine trifecta of Maiden Mother Crone. In her long life, she's witnessed endless cycles of death, failure, rebirth, conflict, and regeneration, giving her the ability to rise above the world of duality. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong, as she has seen the earth churning, smoldering, taking life, and giving life. The crone energy accepts everything in, devouring beauty and suffering with the same mouth, using their energy to reveal hidden secrets and knowledge. Her energy resides in all of us, though it is feared by most for its power and unconventional relationship with death and the macabre. Awakening the crone is dangerously rich and unapologetically magic. I feel like there's power here. There's a very powerful energy behind and coming from the sacral. And the sacral is where the sacral is just one step above like our root chakra, our home. And so this is where we kind of like gather energy to move up into our like confidence in the solar plexus. So let's see. I'm gonna read. The crone has a difficult time tolerating superficial, petty, day-to-day musing. She moves away from such relationships and seeks a deeper path, even if this means a more solitary life. The crone is the master of letting go and residing in what is. She rejects nothing. The crone is often seen with the crow, smoke, night, and the moon. Wow, that's absolutely beautiful. Very powerful here. Because I think this is actually, the crone kind of centers on our power and our relationship with our emotions and ourself, and our pleasure with ourself, and our relationship with ourselves, and our creativity with ourselves. Like, that's the power within us, right? To go deeper, this is about Dhumavati, Hecate, Baba Yaga, and Lilith. And Lilith has been coming up for me lately. The power of Lilith has been coming up a lot for me lately. But remember, awakening the crone is dangerously rich and unapologetically magic. My apologies, I am right under the path of airplane traffic. So let's see. Let's look at the sword. This is LXII. Okay, the sword. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is the one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourself. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. I think the sword is this extension of our power in the crone and our power with the sacral chakra. There is this idea that's coming forward for me, and it's a lesson that I've been learning actually. And when I do these, I also can consider that when I'm talking about collective energy, it's me included too. So what I've learned is that sometimes doing the hard thing of deciding some hard things, you know, you are using an advanced level of knowledge, right? Which is the sword. You know, using the crone energy, this matured energy, to cut off the things that need to be let go of in order for you or someone else or for something to advance, right? It's like you understand what is needed, what action is needed to be taken in order for whatever it is to grow, but most of all, you. Whether that be, you know, cutting something off, I feel like this is about cutting cords in a mature and responsible way. This is about cutting cords. As I'm looking at, you know, this is the chakra that is located below the navel, and it's associated with emotions, pleasure, relationships, and creativity. This is where we connect. If we think about it like an umbilical cord, this is where we connect with the other, how we feed each other, how we feed something that we've given birth to, or how we are fed. There's a moment in time when you advance to the point where you have to use this sword, this decision, decisively, clearly and decisively, and compassionately, right? To cut something off. It is an act of compassion to do this. And it is in having this happen in the crone energy, it's deliciously magic once you understand that cutting things off, or even, I know there's been a lot of talk about boundaries lately in the social media verse, the spiritual social media verse. And this is a good time to think about your boundaries as well. And if someone has absolutely crossed those boundaries, it's time to compassionately, for yourself even, cut that. And that's just me talking. That's not me giving advice. That's just me talking about the subject at hand. But I hope you feel yourselves into it, feel your way into it, and use the crone energy and the sword energy wisely. But to go deeper, you might want to check out Marina Abramovic's Rhythm series. She's an artist, and also Caravaggio's Judith beheading Holofernes. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. With sword, contemplate the Buddhist philosophy of the first and second arrow. Swing the sword once with precision and commitment. More than that will be painful for everyone involved. Yeah. If you're going to do it once and commit to it. And I think that's also about boundaries too. Look, she talks about boundaries. Boundary making, prioritizing, and clarifying are all gestures made possible by the sword. The sword is a metaphor for the pen and the brush, the artist's fierce and graceful tools. If you were to draw out your life with your boundaries, right? What would it look like on paper? What would it sound like in a poem? Maybe take the time to pick up some art tools, or, you know, just a pen and paper, and either draw that out. Like, what would it feel like for your boundaries to be enforced, even if it's just a symbol? Or if you were to write a poem, what would you write a poem to about your boundaries being perfectly enforced, right? But also perfectly respected, so that, you know, you didn't have to use the sword, right? Because it's all about, boundaries are all about respecting yourself. And once you allow a boundary, to be crossed, you might as well have never had the boundary in the first place, you know? you might as well have never had the self-respect in the first place. And I'm saying that because I lived it, right? I'm not just saying that because I'm perfect, because I'm not. All right, let's take a look at tarot. I'm gonna use this instructional tarot we've got today. I've got it wrapped up in my silk scarf here. They're really helpful. They've got all the helping stuff on it. I'm gonna put this silk scarf to the side because we've got a lot of wind today. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna call on the spirits to come into this reading. I hope you can hear that I am shuffling. Come into this reading. The self-care reading about boundaries, about maturity, about delicious power, and the delicious power that comes from that sacral center that we have. Okay, shuffle and cut one more time. I know this is probably a difficult day in our country, in the US right now. I don't quite know how to address that, and I hope, that you're finding safe space for yourself. I don't want to just go on with the reading as if something didn't happen. But I do want to, just pass on when we're in rough times like these, difficult times like these. It's important to have boundaries around your spiritual space. And if you find that you're digesting too much bad news, too much news, it is okay to step back from it, not digest it at this moment, and give yourself the grace and compassion to find a way to make space for it if you want to, or if you can. There are ways for doing it for yourself. But yeah, these are hard things that we're working through right now. Okay, Spirit, can you give us, okay, got the Fool in reverse. Actually, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know if I want to do self-care readings reversed, but let's see. I'll let Spirit decide. Do you want that one out? Okay. Spirit, I'll let you decide. Tell us what we need to know about this reading. Thank you. Tell us what we need to know about this reading. Okay. All right. Interesting. Wow. All right, so I'm gonna read them in the reverse. We're all gonna learn today, okay? The first card we have out is the Fool in reverse. And of course, the Fool upright is typically about a new beginning. This is connected to the planet Uranus, and Uranus is all about boom, 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 quick, change. Like Uranus is like, come on, we're changing right now, go, So, and the Fool energy is definitely about stepping into something that is unknown, and having that beginner mindset. On the card, it says a leap of faith or a fresh start, but it came out in the reverse. So in the reverse, sometimes I can intuit that as we're focusing on a fresh start within ourselves. And I kind of feel that and sense that with this Mercury retrograde that we're going through. I feel like instead of like projecting outward what we feel and what we sense and what we want, we're actually doing some sort of like a self checkup. And that could be what's going on in this case. And then we've got the Justice card in the reverse. Justice shows us in the upright. It means that there is a balancing. This is sometimes about a legal case. It could be, here it says cause and effect, and also objectivity. Justice card is related to, of course, the sign of Libra. I'm only laughing because Libra is my north node, and I'm like, and so this could be about, well, in the reverse, this could mean that there is something that is unbalanced. There is maybe a relationship in the self that is unbalanced. There is some sort of, hold on, the wind is blowing, so I'm trying to make sure nothing blows away. But this is about some sort of an imbalance. Either, externally it would be in a legal case, but when it's flipped over again, I'm getting the sense that this is us sensing an imbalance in ourselves, some sort of an imbalance maybe having to do with our boundaries, or the way that we enforce our boundaries, or the way that we show up for our own boundaries, right? The way that we show up for our own beliefs and values, like personally. And then lastly, we have the Hierophant in reverse. Upright, this is the card that's connected to the sign of Taurus. And the Hierophant, I always see this as someone who is like a spiritual leader, or it could be about religious systems or spiritual systems. But again, now at the bottom it says spiritual wisdom and belief systems. But again, we're looking in the reverse. So this is us looking inwardly at our own belief systems and really considering where, if we're looking again, we're considering our boundaries, we're considering our maturity, our compassion, and our how that has to do with our emotions, pleasure, relationships, and creativity, because we're dealing with the Sacral Chakra as well. Okay. There's a lot of internal work, but this is also, at the bottom of the deck, we see the King of Pentacles upright. So this work is about some sort of abundance, security, but also discipline. This is self-discipline. King of Pentacles I often associate with an entrepreneurial energy, but what does it take to be in that kind of discipline? What does it take to be someone that owns a business? It takes a lot of, if we look at the overall message of the cards here, it takes a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of thinking before starting. It takes a lot of internal balancing of ideas, communication, weighing cause and effect before actually taking action. And it also asks us, are we working within our own, have we evaluated our belief system? At the bottom here it says, and I don't know if I said it already, but this is connected to the sign of Aries, but also King of Pentacles is about abundance, security, and discipline. So this work seems like, not just seems like, it looks like it is worthy work to do the work of the Fool, introspective work of the Fool, instead of just making that fresh start and leaping impulsively, really taking a look at what it is you want to leap to, what it is you want to have effect in, how you want to make an impact. Let's see here. I want to clarify with the Hermetic Tarot. And I'm really, really hoping nothing flies away while I'm doing this. I'll give it about a few more minutes, and then we'll be done. Alright, we've got the Hermetic Tarot deck. I'm just going to clarify here. What is it that we are looking at internally? Because I don't see, if we're looking at this as self-care, of course, any reversal to me is just going to be, looking internally. It's not going to be something that is actually reversing for you, unless that resonates. But the focus here is a little different, so let's keep going. shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. I kind of like it doing it outside. So much better. Okay, one more time. There. One more time, Spirit. Thank you. And we'll go ahead and clarify these cards. And I'll just go ahead and choose from the top of the deck. Okay. Alright, so the Fool is clarified by the Blasted Tower in reverse. Something. Okay. The Fool is in reverse and the Tower is in reverse. This is kind of like a rebirthing. This is a rebirthing, and it's happening in the midst of like a small. It's like in the midst of like a small meltdown. I don't know if that's the right word. This is a rebirthing of the self. As you can see on the card here, upright, it says at the top, the Blasted Tower, and then Lord of the hosts of the mighty. But it's in reverse. So when we think about tower moments, we think about all our foundations crumbling down and changes that are being made for the better for us, even though we don't expect it to happen. But in the verse, to me, it's on a lesser scale. But also, to me, this is a tower moment that you're actually causing. So this could be, whether you know it or not, kind of like a self-initiation. And an initiation process is kind of the beginning of a deeper spiritual understanding. An initiation process. My own initiation process was, oddly enough, it was running through, my child self was running through the forest and invited me along, and I sat down in the dirt, and she came in, and I was asking her, like, what do you want me to do? And she came and sat with me and rubbed the dirt in my hands and said, just run, and run with me. And this was like over a year ago that happened. Okay, let's see. Justice is clarified by the Four of Cups in reverse. I think we've had Four of Cups in reverse before. Upright, this is the Lord of Blended Pleasure in the reverse. This is, yeah, I think this is something when you're looking at pleasure, like the Lord of Blended Pleasure, this is understanding that there's an imbalance of where you're feeling or sensing your own pleasure. There's an imbalance of what is giving you pleasure here. There's an imbalance in emotions, imbalance in relationships, and imbalance in creativity. And it's up to you to put that upright, right? It's up to you to right that wrong, or right that imbalance. Let's put it that way. Because you only you know if it's right or wrong, right? I can't decide that for you. And also, again, this doesn't have to all resonate. I'm just giving a general reading here, but I'm hoping that it gives you some food for thought as you go about your week and your self-care. Okay, the next card is the Ace of Pentacles. Just like I said, this is a rebirthing. This is a new start somewhere. The Hierophant in reverse is about inwardly we're looking at our own belief systems, and here it is, we're creating or even accepting a divine offer. Because look, let's see, it says, and the Hierophant is an earth card. This is the card of Taurus, but also earth. And here we have the Pentacles popping up, which is earth. Pentacles are earth. So let's see, this is called Lord of the Root of the Powers of Earth. This is you getting into a new source of self. And when I say rebirthing, it's almost like even more so a new uncovering of what's inside of you. It's an uncovering of what's in you. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. Six of Wands, Lord of Victory, upright. Doing this work is going to be worth it because you'll be able to celebrate yourself. This is not about a job. This is not about, you know, anything outside of you. This is about inwardly creating a wonderful sense of self, creating a wonderful sense of self-worth, and really getting deep into what do you really feel? What is really pleasurable for you? What relationships look best for you? And how does creativity come forward for you? All right, so that is your self-care tarot reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it despite all the noise that's around me today. But I look forward to seeing you soon for another weekly reading. And until then, please take care of yourselves. I like to end with other group sessions with just give yourself a hug if you're able to, and have a wonderful rest of your week.